And we're started. Hello, and this is the Ninja DC joining you again for another React. Oh, dear gosh, I still want to say React. It's so ingrained in us. Another podcast episode discussing about, well, the main topic of the show is Summer Blockbusters because we are in technically the Summer Blockbuster season, even though it's sort of weird because things have happened as of late. But before we get to that, let's just start with who's all here. First in by random YouTube order is Daylover.
Oh, hey all, how is it going? Soon I'm going to be there, I can't wait. It's been like so long, but soon, very soon you guys. So yeah, next one. Woo.
Next up is Carlos.
Hello there, this is Gunmetal Gator here, just saying, how do you do, how do you day? I'm just a guy who just last night literally excited someone over having a fake D&D with my own D&D based on an obscure anime property. So I'm just like, okay, I made the intrigue even interesting, but how much can I hold? How much can I hold their attention for? Tune in and find out.
Alright, and then next up, second.
Hi there, I'm the second opinion, and from a critic first and a fan second, let's bust this block.
Yay.
And then next up, Jenn.
I may be first, I may be last, I may be late for dinner, but I am first and always Jenn. Hello, everybody.
Hey, Jenn.
Hello.
All right.
I got a catchphrase now. How's that?
Yeah, that was nice.
Thank you. I think I will keep it.
Yeah.
So I guess what's everyone been up to? If anyone wants to go first, into sort of the media realm.
That's a good question. Well, I guess I can go first. Like, I started drawing a lot, and I'm still doing my Stardew Valley and Final Fantasy. I had a small break here because I had some private stuff to take care of in real life. But elsewise, like, it's been like a lot of drawing. I'm actually going back to portraits again, trying to see if I can figure that out. So yeah, I hope it's good. And yeah, that's the most digital thing I've been up to, I guess. If you are asking about like what I've been watching, I have not been watching a whole bunch of stuff because again, I've been drawing D&D monsters and all sorts of weird things. So yeah. Whew. Next one. Jen, go.
Oh, that's me. Actually, wait a minute. Is it me next? Is it second next?
I don't know.
It's really a free for all with this.
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense.
Next, or is it Gator next?
I don't know. I was just like, I have to give it to somebody.
Oh. I get you. Who wants to go next?
All right, well, I got something for you. The iCarly reboot is happening, and
oh no.
While I didn't get around to watching the first episode yet, the big news for it is that they cast a new best friend as one of the leads because the old actress is ashamed of her child star work, and I wonder why, seeing past episodes of iCarly. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about the fact that the new actress is somebody I went to college with, and starred in a professional show with, and took a theater class with.
What?
My jaw dropped when I saw that.
Wow.
I mean, there is still a video right now of her and myself and everybody else in the play, but she and I are actually standing like side by side, yelling this chant that needed to be played at one point during the scene, so they just had the cast get together and yell it as though it was like the anonymous crowd was that was just coming off screen. Yeah, why not have it be us? recorded ourselves yelling it, and you can still find that on YouTube right now. So
Wow.
that was wild to see, and I think that would be fit right in with Weird Al Yankovic's lame claim to fame song.
Wow,
It's nice.
It was cool. Although, I mean, I'm surprised that because it's such a darn small world, I'm not particularly surprised that she made it. Like, yeah, she was fearless, kind of an irrepressible ball of charisma, and she was hungry for something. Like that class, we all had we had this assignment, like, okay, you have to come in and present something revealing about yourself, like, stand up there and give us some kind of presentation, and I mean, we all went, good and melodramatic, like, personal secrets and stuff, but yeah, she was the only one who turned it into, like, her, one-woman show that was, like, with dancing and, fearlessly on-the-nose sentiments and singing, and you would have said, like, wow, that's dramatic if she hadn't nailed it, so give you an idea of who you're dealing with there.
That's cool.
Mm.
Rubbing elbows with the stars. We're going to school with them.
Well, we did say hey to Emma Larson, so don't know if anything can top that.
Hey, everybody got to start somewhere. And who better? And who better than the man himself?
That's true.
So yeah, and there's nothing I have that's gonna top that. I did go from like one of the weakest D&D players in my group to ordering cards and then abruptly like driving everybody crazy, both because of winning and because the D&D, you have a commander in mind who happened to come with my starter deck, is infamously one of the most annoying commanders in the games. I think I might try to go in a different direction there, but yeah, like I said, not going to top that first thing.
Oh, really? Well, I'm sad to hear that.
I mean, unless, you want just news and not geeky news, because Dave's right,
Well, I mean, just general geek news. If we have big news, like, I think yours and Dave's news you're working on is pretty
much, yes.
It's personal, but it's definitely it definitely fits.
Yes.
Then, Daylover has gotten approved for her trip to the United States. She has been, notified that she is going to receive a K1, which means she, in a matter of weeks, is coming here to marry me.
Yay!
Woo! Congratulations, so happy!
I've been trucking your way through near, like, almost 2 years, including the pandemic, pushing this back about a year and a half. That feels good.
Oh, no doubt, I bet.
Yeah. And that can top everything.
There you go. That dare I say tops Emmy Larson, you know?
Yeah, it does.
No offense, but
no, that's true.
No offense, Mr. Larson, you cool and all, but you know, this. It's love, man. It's love.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you guys.
I just hope Derpy's not in charge of the mail in the next few days.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Bribe her. You know, we got to bribe her with some muffins if we got to.
Yeah.
The best, you know,
got a bribe?
I can probably make a mean blueberry muffin. Don't worry. We make this happen.
That's good because I cannot bake. I'm not a baker.
Perfect. I can just ask my mother.
Right, what are you talking about?
Cook, yeah, but that's not the same as baking, you.
Now be quiet. You made the dessert that stole the show 2 Christmases ago.
That's not baking. That's risalamande. That's something else.
Yeah, see, the fact that you even know that.
In fact, we still remember it, you know.
just like, you cannot bake a riz a la mode. It's like pudding. It's like, porridge. It would be not good.
You have my mom like nodding her head and trying to keep up as you're giving the directions and as you're correcting her on all of her first attempts to follow them.
Aww.
Oy. And she was very appreciative for the record, but yeah.
Yeah. It's also hard to make. I think I've seen like my grandma make it like over, I don't know how many times. Yeah.
So,
Maybe I'll make that for you guys if I ever see you guys again.
Well, that'd be cool.
Yeah, make some resettlement.
That'd be cool. It was next.
Well, rice pudding with a sweetened, thick cherry sauce.
Ooh,
yeah.
That sounds good.
It's meant for Christmas.
That sounds really good.
It is good.
Well, who's next?
I guess Gator. Unless Ninja is going to.
I can go if Gator is not available right now.
Oh.
Let's see.
Testing Gator. Nope.
Alright. Yeah, but it's mostly been up to like catching up on some shows and anime. I think I already brought up Ratchet and Clank, and also think after that I played Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. The main game I'm playing right now is finally getting around to playing the Xenoblade Chronicles Legend of Torna DLC, which I've forgotten. This Monolith Software is very good at creating basically in their DLC games, which are sort of standalone. They're very good at basically compressing like a JRPG down to like a 20-hour story-ish thing. So, and like just simplifying their combat where it's like you progress faster with it and just in general learn it faster. So like I do have to give them respect for that. Let me see. On top of that though, but some catching up on some older anime and work on some short story stuffs. Like I finally got around to, but just finally watching Record of Lotus War.
That's a classic.
Nice.
That's an old that's a very like Lord of the Rings D&D themed anime.
Yeah.
Classic.
And then let me see. I'm also like, there's a few other animes I was watching. I'm just sort of like letting him catch up. Like I'm still waiting for like I killed Slime for 300 years to get the dub. A few more episodes in, and then on top of that, let me see what was it. Oh yeah, I'm finally going back and watching Samurai Champloo, like retroactive. I've seen it before.
Great choice.
I've seen it before in Adult Swim, but it's like one of those things like I feel like I should watch it more as an adult and appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Great choice.
I thought for a second you were going to say Samurai Jack, and I was just like, yes, it's amazing.
I've seen that more recently, and especially the recent season.
Yeah.
Have had issues with the last season, but mostly the last bit of it. The rest is pretty good.
Honestly, I don't think anything like my biggest. Well, I think my biggest issue with Samurai Jack will, for always and ever, be how the first 4 seasons just like started to go full. Well, Deus Ex Machina at the end of every episode, but just like make it blatantly obvious through sometimes the cheapest feeling of cop-outs that he wasn't going to go back to the past, that, yeah, you were just watching a loop that felt like it was going to end when it wanted to end. Like, I came into Samurai Jack just hyped and, like, ready to go for a long time, and then, like, 2 seasons in, I was like, yeah, okay, I think I get it.
Mm.
And then season 5 comes out and says we're in, like, no, we're going to tell the last chapter. I was like, doubling back. Oh, well, in that case.
I will say it surprised me. Like, I think it's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I do have like I think we brought up. I forget where we brought up our issues with the finale, but like
yeah,
It's one of those things where it's like,
Point or other.
it's like so close to like, it's like, that's why I'm sort of annoyed by it, because like everything else is so great about this final season that like when it's just like doesn't like that, it's like when it misses that one, trips on the like the finish line, it's like it's particularly annoying.
Like which particular finale?
Samurai Jack.
Jack.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
like it tries to swing and misses on the Gurren Lagann-esque ending. Like seriously, Gurren Lagann did it a lot better.
And don't look at me. I think that it was a zero artistic compromise ending that, fit in a lot of ways, every bit as many as it had the artistic merit indeed. And then, hey, I'm drowning in my critic first, fan second motto, and everybody thinks that critic first means you demand everything be at a, doctorate degree level and be coded in some kind of Da Vinci Code. This means this, and actually it means the same thing as the Cenobites. You're a seeker of experience. That's it.
Gotcha. So, right now we're finally getting back into are you guys finished? You guys' stuff?
I'm going last, but you can go.
Okay. So the thing was for me, like Slime Isekai is back with season 2, part 2. Has a very thematic, edgy opening to display, the change of tone completely. I'm feeling like the Slime Isekai is, starting to become one of those, knockout hitters for, the Isekai genre as a whole. Yeah, it has, wholesome characters, but also spectacular animation, and the fact that the studio is giving it so much attention, even giving, the spin-off material, such love and dedication. And even making the recap episodes into literal journal entries that are a part of the manga. I'm just is this legitimately one of the most faithful adaptations? Because they even go back and cover some of the materials that they skipped over from the first season in season 2.
Yeah, one thing I wish is I'm still holding out hope that Slime Diaries gets dubbed, but I don't think it's gonna happen, which is sad.
Really? It would make a lot of sense if there was an empty space for animates a dub. Oh, why not bring the Slime casters to do this little number? And we just only need a couple of new actors, or maybe we use some of the old ones for some of these Diaries eccentric characters, Because literally, I eat up all of that Slime Diary goodness. It is so good, so wholesome. You'll never see orcs the same way again. I guarantee. Yeah. But aside from that, in terms of other shows that I've watched recently, Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's for starting off with season 2, or 7's 2 as it were, to parallel with Zexal 2. Starting off with these apparently one-off villains called the Goha President from Goha's space elementary. Instead of aliens, we have students coming from outer space. Which is even more ridiculous. Which is even more ridiculous than aliens. And I'm you have to subvert the alien subplot with students going to school in space. Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's, I can never read you.
Sounds neat. Do they have a UFO bus then?
No. Oh wait. Oh, yeah, technically it does count as a UFO.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, all their archetypes are based on actual old Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards, just revamped for the Rush Duel format, including Millennium Shield that gets to be a boss monster. Millennium Shield.
Oh wow.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Has boss monsters now.
No, using the old cards and making them into boss monsters now. Like, they literally
What is
call
a
it...
boss monster? Is it like a commander in Magic, or what is it?
No. It's just literally like the ace in people's decks, like Dark Magician and like Neos and such. They're literally calling them boss monsters in the actual anime, and I'm like, God.
So they're trying to not get them completely outdated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's even a baseball Utopia, a baseball version of Utopia now.
Baseball version. Oh, brother.
Yeah, from Zexal, like Yuma's ace monster, and they're giving it to the girl, the one girl in their group, and I'm just like, wow.
Oh, so she's like that girl from Pokemon who cheers for the Electabuzz.
Yay!
KC, roar,
Last place baseball team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like super interesting and such. Like all these like characters like meeting up. Like the most recent episode has like the Mako Tsunami character, a guy who literally befriends a dolphin and gets a trading card deck based on the sea, and Umi comes back with a vengeance. That one felt that they can never leave enough alone.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah, that's Mako's field spell.
Oh.
Card that's constantly used all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The freaky fish guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and also the first duel was literally against a guy riding a motorcycle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm taking a little inspiration from the other one where they're riding motorcycles. I already forgot its name.
5Ds. It's 5Ds.
Oh, okay, yeah.
A lot of Yu-Gi-Oh fans would not forgive you if you forgot about that, because 5Ds is kind of sort of like the magnum
That's
opus
weird.
for a lot of people.
Yeah. Like, I think I saw a couple of episodes and then I was just like, yeah, no, I'm done.
I gotcha. So, yeah, it's really crazy. It's really fun. Like, I just feel like Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 is like that one show that like you guys shouldn't sleep on. Like, if you're an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan, just check it out. You'll fall in love with any one of the characters, and the girls' roster is actually quite stacked. Quite stacked. Like, you'll find a girl character that you'll really dig and vibe with immediately. Whether it's like a working mom trying to become like a going up the ranks and like in work, or maybe it's like a girl musician who's like, I'm not really interested about this dueling stuff, but then actually gets really invested into it.
That sounds fun.
Or even a girl who's all crazy about construction materials.
Oh. Okay.
Or like even including having their own personal excavator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Or if you want to go for a comedy character, go for one of the UFO girls that are actually aliens.
Yay. That seems like me.
Though we can never tell if it's the same girl or it's 4 different beings that look exactly the same.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Stuff like that, I like that.
I mean, aside from that, the only other thing I could say is checking out, like on your Disney Plus subscription, I finally checked out Monsters at Work, which aired its first 2 episodes on its platform. And it just feels so uncanny, let me tell you. Remember when Monsters, Inc. first came out?
No.
I do.
I know what it is.
I wouldn't stop advertising toys and stuff.
Yeah. Like the only thing I remember is the are they called minions too? Like the small green ones that say ooh.
Oh, those are the aliens from Toy Story.
Oh.
Yeah, that's aliens.
Wait.
Yeah, but Monsters Inc. came out in 2001. And the animation for Monsters at Work literally feels like it's still the same old universe of 2001 animation, but it makes sense because of how good animation has become for TV animation.
Yeah, no, I got you. Sully and
Mike Wazowski.
Yeah.
Like, legitimately, and the
Sally
fact that
is
we
my
still,
favorite.
and seriously, the fact that we still have the old voice actors reprising their roles, it's just an uncanny valley of like, wow, we literally still in the same universe with the same people voicing them.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't think
That's
of this
nice.
for like an actual like TV show, but here we are now.
Yeah.
Streaming has become like, hey, let's make your childhood movies into actual franchises, not just like
Mhm.
doing a prequel.
Mhm.
And the whole plot is like about like a guy literally being like realizing like, oh, your own like this trait that you've been working at for your entire life and went to college for, now that's outdated. So you're gonna have to try to go for like a different form of employment. Guess what that reminds you of, huh? It's not like you've been working for like, say, I don't know, like a TV degree, and then turns out like, oh yeah, TV's dying. We're gonna go on to streaming. I hope that's okay with you. Like, it's like that sort of like type of like, oh yeah, the job market suddenly shifts, and all the work that you've done is literally become for naught.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sad reality for those in employment. Yet this is advertised for kids, so it's like, yeah, it's definitely going like in the same direction as the original Monsters Inc. with like some highbrow stuff going on. Like, kids are just really getting like the base essentials from it, you know?
Mm. Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the best media has the stuff you can read and stuff like that. I mean, that, can either be kids' introduction or they can, if they hold it close to them, can be the, thing that continues their interest as they get older.
Yeah. So I would say, even though it's a kid show, check it out. I have a feeling like it's probably going to be even a bit better than Lion Guard was for its third season, because I actually watched Lion Guard,
Oh.
even though I'm not a Lion King fan. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. I guess it.
That's a series that I watched like 3 episodes of, and then I was just like, yeah, no.
Oh, by the way, big information for like in the card game hemisphere. Overdress, Cardfight Vanguard Overdress, the animation. We finally got our English dub starting airing out its episodes in YouTube now.
Woo!
Yeah. And apparently we have a YouTuber playing the main heroine for it now.
Oh.
By the name of Lily Pichu.
Pichu.
As the actual name they put in for the credits. And I'm just like, we're really going for the YouTube identity, not the actual name.
Is she really famous enough to warrant that?
Oh, no.
I don't know about her, because she's voicing the character who plays my deck in the game. And it's like, and here's my honest opinion. Everyone else sounds nearly identical to like how they are in the Japanese, except for like a bit lower energy. But Lily's just feels like the most high pitch for a tomboy character I've ever heard. And that's really not pleasing to my ear.
Oh.
Yeah, because
Well, it's actually not good.
It's just, if only if like a registrar was a bit more lower, like a tenor or something, maybe that could work out instead of like what I'm hearing like is somewhat close to like not a soprano but an octave. Like, that's just how I feel about her.
Okay, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from that, like at least getting like the dub for like those who couldn't watch the sub, just be like, try out this anime, see if you might be interested about a cheaper card game to enter, and what you could possibly pay $4 to $8 for a trial deck.
No,
Or just
I think
still
I'm
one
good.
of the card games to enter, but yeah. Oh yeah, and last but not least, the Digimon anime. We kind of got to the point of like, oh yeah, for sure we're getting we finally got Crescarurumon for an episode for Matt, which is an alternate Digievolution for the Mega version of Metal Garurumon, in which we got an extremely beautiful Digievolution involving around like like Rare Garurumon getting encased in golden armor and then coming in with like a kendo sword, and it's just like, okay, the design itself looks so eye-droppingly pleasing. Like it feels like a logical extent for like an evolution for Rare Garurumon. But we know that it's only temporary, and it's like, God, why couldn't this design made it first before Metal Garurumon? But yeah, like, and he was going up against like basically a ghost version of a Mega Digimon, in which not even the normal Megas could even touch him. I'm just like, okay, now that's a unique foe for pure power to not kill anything. Like Phantom Data, essentially.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently we also got like an actual evolution for Gazimon, for a champion form by the name of Starabimon, in which he's going in with like the aesthetic of Rare Garurumon with the belts. I'm just like, I'm okay with this. Finally, give some
fascinating new Digimon.
Oh yeah, and not to mention last week's episode was a Mimi focused episode, which aired around the same time as unfortunately her English VA passed away, Elise Sampler.
Did they get that tribute in there to her?
Yeah, like right now, like nothing mentioned, but it was like a very good episode for Mimi.
Okay. Anyway, should we get on with the blockbuster talk?
Oh, I just have
yeah.
one little thing to contribute. Okay, what I've been up to is I finally finished Okami. Literally this morning at 5:30 in the morning. I literally finished it, and I literally woke up at around 10 minutes till time to record. Oh my gosh! I am never been so glad of to finish a game other than Okami. I've never been so glad for the end of a game. Oh, actually, I think I have, but I think this is a bit going on. This is the second game in my life that I have created, that I have played all by myself, and this is becoming a thing with me. I'm starting to really wish for the end of games at a certain point.
I got you.
But Okami definitely more than Lollipop Chainsaw. But yeah, there were so many. Even the story was great. The art style is very different, very unique. But there were just so many. But there were some things that were just so annoying. Like I got stuck for months on. First of all, whoever designed the mini games can't just. I'm gonna be frustrated. Oh!
What was it you were talking about a day ago? Like digging, or what it was?
Oh my gosh, yes, it was like digging mini games. Whoever designed those mini games, you just get bent, okay? And also the final boss. What a grind! This was probably the worst grind of a final boss ever. I mean, I could definitely. Oh my goodness!
So, is it a grind to get to him, or is it a grind to defeat him?
It's a grind to defeat him. It's a grind to defeat him. I mean, a real for sure grind. I mean, yeah, if it's a grind, I don't mind. I'm used to grinding in certain areas, in order to get money and such for certain items and abilities and such. That's par for the course in games, right? And I understand the final boss has got to be challenging and such, but oh my gosh, it was such a grind, and it was so annoying, and when I was done,
it's like I was gonna say, the final boss is like 15-20 minutes, like if you on a run or something like that. He is
wow.
For me, Okami, I spent 100 days. It was 100 days for me to gaming on this darn thing. I was stuck on the Sakuya digging stage for months.
It sounds like me and Fallout being stuck in the end.
And with the final boss, my gosh, whoever designed that final boss, seriously.
Yeah.
I'd never been like so ready for an end of a game. When I was finished, I almost threw my controllers across the room and ran out of the room, and I was like, I don't even care about the ending anymore. I'm done.
I mean, I think the ending was good.
Yes, you do. Watch the ending. I'm like, okay, fine.
Do you at least get some explosions or something?
Let's see. Let me try to remember. I'm trying. Let me see if I'm already getting to the point of like, you know, blocking it out of my brain out of trauma or something.
Oh no.
Whatever. See, I'm trying to remember what happened. I think it just all out. Oh wait. Yes, it did. Oh yes, it thankfully did explode.
Oh, that's good.
I did get that satisfaction.
It's satisfaction, yeah.
I got that satisfaction of watching it explode. And my boyfriend was like watching me play, but he was out of the room at the moment. I'm like, damn, he didn't see me do it, but it's all right. But it's okay. And he came back down, and I was like, you know that movie? You know that scene in what's it called? Then There Will Be Blood. Just after Daniel Day-Lewis's character has just killed that younger guy, and he turns and he looks up to the camera and he's like, and he looks at the camera and he's like, I'm finished. Yeah, that was me. That was me. I was like contemplating flipping the ottoman that I was sitting on, breaking all the lamps,
don't break
punching holes in all the drywall, and just jumping on my Wii and smashing it to pieces.
No,
and this is after you beat him.
This is after I beat him. And then my boyfriend and my mom come down like, what's going on? I would look up to them and in all the carnage and be like, I'm finished.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious, what did you think of the final section before the final boss? Like the snow area.
Section. There we go. Screw the final section. Screw the digging stages.
Yeah, you have been talking a lot about those digging stages.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the digging stages are annoying.
So annoying. Another thing that's a little annoying is this is interesting. One particular boss you end up having to defeat 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
3 times. Like I had to defeat Orochi, the 8-headed dragon, 3 freaking times in the game. First off, when the game starts, in the first act of the game, and then you find out, oh, he ain't dead. Like, oh, he's not dead. His spirit is just gone somewhere. But then you got to go back into the past, 100 years ago, to defeat him with your past self. And then you got to do it again once you get on the Ark of Yamato as like one final thing to like cleanse it of its foul stench or something. I'm like, man, you guys really love Orochi.
But one thing I will say is it is satisfying with the final bosses, like because they're not harder, so you can basically for a lot of them just go back and like with all of your upgraded skills and all that and just like curb stomp a lot of them. Orochi's different just because he's sort of there's a special pattern you have to do to take him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a lot of them like the Ninetale, like it felt so satisfying to go back to the Ninetale and just be like destroy him. Or her.
Yeah, and actually, the Ninetales. There was no boss that I really went back to that I was like, oh, it's gonna be so much fun to beat you at my upgraded level. So if you're a boss and I beat you, I don't want to see you again. I want you to be 6 feet under, 10 feet under, all the way to the core, all the way to the Earth's core, never to come out. Pretty much, but I don't know. Ninetales was like, okay, here's my Naruto fan talking. I was kind of mad to see a Ninetales as an enemy there. I was like, no! I kept thinking like, Kurama! Why? Like, wait a minute, this is a different mythology from Naruto. But I'm thinking, I love nighttail foxes. I'm like, why do you have to be bad in this? This sucks. And I have to burn your tails off. I'm sad. But then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. The thing just dug into the ground, put his tails up, and tried to kill me. So I'm like, well, then there goes that time to kill you. But it's also fun, like, when it decides to, like, put its sword up to the heavens, I have to use the lightning to shock it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit that was kind of fun. That was kind of fun. Like, once I draw the lightning over to the sword where the Ninetales is holding and yeah, when I get to shock him, that's fun. I'll admit that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But another thing that was really annoying was how oftentimes the strokes were really hard to do, especially when I have the first generation Wii remote. I had to draw certain strokes multiple times in order for it to register.
You drawing stuff in it?
Yeah, you actually get to draw stuff in the game in order
cool.
for
I want to try it now.
Yeah, it's actually part of the story. It's actually part of the story. It's like very based in calligraphy and such. It's part of the integral part of the story. A lot of your attacks, and how you advance in the stage is going to be like how you draw. You have to draw certain things. Like a perfect example, like there's one. I wish this brush technique should have been incorporated more. It would have been real fun, but. Say you have to get across a cliff to a broken bridge. You have to draw the bridge. You have to kind of draw a line for the bridge to be restored.
Oh, cool.
And that didn't get. I was a little disappointed. That would have been fun to do a lot, and it was not done very much. I think it was like done twice in the whole game. But you get to, like, one thing that's fun is you get to make trees grow, and whenever you do make trees grow, it's gorgeous. You get beautiful little cutscenes. You get beautiful little cutscenes. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. You get to make trees grow and turn them into beautiful cherry blossoms. Love it. You get to feed it.
Amazing.
Oh yeah, it's a really pretty, really beautiful, interesting art style. You see, it's almost like ukiyo-e style. It's almost like Japanese woodblock style meets 8-bit, but it's an interesting, like, it's an interesting character design and such. But yeah, the one you get to do a lot is you get to draw the sun. You'll get to options to draw the sun and the moon, so you get the opportunity to change day and night.
So can you can you plug in your art tablet or digital tablet to it and draw with that in the game?
Nope. Unfortunately, no. You have to draw with the Wii remote.
That sucks. No.
But you know what? The good thing is the brush techniques that you have to use, they're really simple. They're really simple. If you want to attack an ending, you do an enemy, you just do a power slash, and that's just a straight line across. That's it.
Okay.
And if you want to make the sun rise, draw a circle. Draw a circle in the sky, you get the sun. If you want the moon, draw a. I guess
you're going to do that a lot.
Yeah, draw a backwards C. You'll get the moon. If you want to make something grow, go to the tree, draw a circle on it, and make it grow. If you want the wind to blow, draw a loop.
Huh.
You get the wind to blow. And it's fun. Sometimes you get to it's fun time. Sometimes you just get to draw a dot on the ground and a tree grows.
Ooh.
Or some flowers.
I wish you could plug your art tablet to it though.
You know what? Yeah, I wonder.
Easier.
I wonder if that would be if that would make it easier. The only problem with the Wii remote was that I don't know what it was, but I had to draw a lot multiple times in order for the game to register that I'd done it.
Yeah.
It's that got really annoying really quick.
I'm also fearing like that would annoy me a lot.
Just a reference, because I know if you are interested, I was just checking, it is on Steam, like the HD one.
I heard of that. My younger sister actually told me about Okami in the beginning, and then I got it, and then oh my gosh, she told me probably close to when it actually came out. So I don't even remember when it came out. That's terrible.
If you can get it for PC, can't you plug your tablet to that?
Good question.
I don't know how supported
she's
it'll
of
be
the
on
PC
Steam.
games, so I gotta ask her if she has it. I have to ask her if she has it and like what she has to do to draw it if she has it.
Ask her about that, because if she can plug her tablet into it, I'm going to buy it.
You know,
Speaking of game,
you know, yeah, and you know what? Actually, speaking of which, I'm gonna text her real quick and be like, I did it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask her. I'm gonna tell her like, I did it. Oh my god. And I'll have to ask her if she has HD, and if it's for PC or not. And if she does, what does she have to do to draw with it?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll have to ask her about that. Who knows? But I know I definitely can say this. I mean, Okami, as interesting as it was, I will not go back to that game. And when it ended, it's like, okay, you got all these items. Now you can start again. I was like, no! No, we're done. Relationship.
You can give it to me.
If you got a first generation Wii, it's yours.
I don't think so.
I would highly recommend, if you are interested, do not do the Wii version or even the PS2. Go for the HD and enjoy the improved interface, the more modernized interface and all that.
I will agree with Ninja on this. You know, I will agree with you. So, I mean, then again, like I said, I don't have a PC at the moment anymore, but hey, who knows? If it's better interface and it works better for you, hey, why not? It's just that I'm officially done with Okami. I am not coming back. And then my sister had the nerve like, oh, did you hear there was a second Okami? I was like, slam the phone down. And she's like, but then she's like said, oh, it was it's on the DS. So like, I have no interest in the DS. Nope.
No, I won't.
And she was like, but Amaterasu is up in puppy form. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You mean he's like a little chibi and a little chibi puppy and it's all cute and crap? Like, but I still have no interest in the DS. I think I'll just find a Let's Play and watch it.
But before we move on to the news outline, I just want to give you, because this give you, Okami is a beautiful game. I think you would just appreciate it as that. Yeah. But there's not, like, the art interface is basically more just very simple calligraphy.
Yes.
There's only one or two instances where, like, you could technically draw something more, but even then it's just more calligraphy. If you're sort of looking for a game that sort of plays with that more, though, I would say if you have a PS4 or someone like that, there's a Tearaway. Mm-hmm. It's from like the team who did Little Big Planet. It's like it's basically all the art is made in like papercraft. So, and they even tell you, like, you can even print out like you can get like every object in the game can even like you can like literally get like instructions how to make that in person.
Oh, cool.
But part of what that game is, like, so much of like random things like, hey, can you draw like I would look like, or make me like, you can papercraft draw like and create all the art in that game for a lot of the character designs and like the paper art. So I'd say look up that, because that seems very much in your more creative like interest.
Well, like I think the next thing on my gaming list is a Switch, and the 3 games I want for that.
I want one. Right. That's my next console.
Yeah, and when I saw the commercials for the new Switch, I was just like, how much more does this need to tease me?
Yeah, like, just like everyone, even like Nintendo fans. I was listening to podcasts. That is going to be. Hold that thought, because I'm going to bring that subject up in a news feed. Actually, since we're transitioning to news feed, I guess it can be the first topic. Nice is like the Nintendo Not Pro Switch. It was released. Yeah, even though it's been rumored and talked about for a while, we knew about the OLED. Nintendo finally announced the official new Switch, which is the Nintendo Switch OLED, which is slightly improved structure, like bigger screen with that's OLED, and that's pretty much it. No increase of power, no really increase of battery life, besides maybe slightly better battery life because it's an OLED screen. But otherwise, yeah, $50
Wasn't
more
there
than the
better
original Switch.
graphics? I
Nope,
saw
no
somebody
better graphics.
comparing graphics, and it seems like it's better.
Nope. No, resolution's the same. It's just an OLED screen, which is a slightly bigger OLED screen. I think like it adds an inch, but it's like it is a better because OLED is better screen quality, so it is.
Okay.
The screen looks better, but its resolution is exactly the same, and there's no power. There might be like microscopic power, but it's like in the same way a PS4 Slim might be slightly more powerful than an original PS4. It's like just by slightly updating the chipsets, it might be microscopically more powerful, but it's like so slightly more stable, but it's not. All the processors is, but it does have a better kickstand. We have to give them credit there. It does. The kickstand is not garbage, as garbage as the original Switches. There's a kickstand goes across the entire back of it, so you can actually generally prop it up. It's not like a little dinky thing, which I'm surprised has not broken on mine yet.
Can you just buy one of those things to prop it up online?
Yep, and that pretty much summarizes a lot of the thing with this new Switch.
It's just a combination of those items. Instead of buying it separately months ahead, you can just buy everything all at once.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to fully invest in a new Switch and haven't bought one yet, it is better version of it, but it's like $50 more where you're really not getting much.
Yeah, I mean those Nintendo collectors.
I'm wondering if that's the best course of action, because I know I am dead set on getting a Switch. I just don't know.
Too.
Now I'm wondering if I should should I just get the normal, or should I get the new, I guess,
new
what's
Switch,
Switch Pro?
Yeah, it's a very important question. I mean, I'm probably just going to get the Lite because I'm a more handheld guy with Nintendo regardless.
So am I.
Before I would say that, but going back, because that's how originally I played the Switch when I first got it. I was pretty much 99% of the time in handheld. But as time went away and I got a better controller, which I highly recommend if you do get the Nintendo Switch, you get the 8-bit Nintendo SN30 Pro Plus controller, which basically takes a Super Nintendo controller and mixes it with a PS4 controller. In terms of yeah, it's I consider it a better Pro controller than the Nintendo's Pro controller, and it's also cheaper. I've shown it before. You have it's a very good controller, and you can often get really cheap on sale. I think they even have a version 2 out now, which has a lot of the game controllers have the 2 extra buttons on the back of the controller now. It does that, but yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, I was trying to get to the point is yeah, I normally play it in handheld, but it is actually, you do appreciate having it docked because it does improve the resolution and stability, and generally having a good controller with it. But for all of you, because since you'll have a looking to get a Switch, I would say one thing you might be consider is if you know a friend or someone who does want to upgrade to new Switch, if you can get the old Switch from them cheaper, it might be good investment that way.
Oh,
time to use the consumer trend to try to get the best used Switch at a cheaper price. Nice.
And the only thing that might be have to worry about, you might have to get new nunchucks on the side, just because every Switch pretty much has drift issues. Besides mine right now, I'm knocking on wood, but it might be a good thing. I'm not playing mostly in handheld anymore and using another controller. But yeah, you can always switch out new. The thing is, yeah, you can always switch out new controllers. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I said. It's something considered. It is better, but it's again not even the resolution's improved. So yeah, a lot of people are disappointed, but like it pretty much is the equivalent of like the Switch is like the PS4 Slim or the Xbox 360s, like whatever, when they post Red Ring of Death they had like a slimmer one where it's like just a better unit, but it's really the same thing. That's what really the Switch OLED is. Just basically a not slim, but just the same unit, pretty much, just slightly improved structure components.
That sounds. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, a lot of people are disappointed, but again, a Switch I would say is still worth it. And heck, if you can get like a used Switch cheaper because of this, it might benefit you.
I'll try.
Yeah. And that's all we're doing, and that's all we've done in our lives.
Yeah.
One last thing. One little thing. I'm actually trying to get back into the recording thing. I'm actually trying to branch out and do auditions for voice roles and singing.
Yay.
That's it.
Can't wait to
Welcome
hear
back
them.
to the arena.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you. Today, at some point today, I've got some recording to actually do. So, it's gonna be fun.
All right, but going back to the news,
Yes.
actually less fun news. It was a good up note going back to down. Is there's been an ongoing, one of the bigger news stories out of late is like the Netflix underpaying MAPPA anime studio debacle.
Oh, really?
Which have any of you heard about it before I go into?
No.
But that's
yes, I know a lot about this, and it's kind of sad to me because MAPPA has been outputting a lot of good stuff, but at what cost do we get all the good stuff? At what cost is this really giving us all this great anime?
I'm going to be this is before I go into the summary of it, because I'm sort of meh about this news story, but there's a specific reason why. The whole idea is basically like it leaked that like from a MAPPA animator like in Japan that Netflix has basically been going for there's a range in what they pay, like what studios pay per cut, which is basically for keyframing animation, and Netflix has been paying essentially the lowest rate possible. Like it ranges from like 150. I'm just converting to dollars from yen. Basically, add 100 to it, and you get the yen value. It's basically the artist says like you should be paying like 150 dollars per cut, but Netflix is doing like $33 per cut, but there's a whole range. It's like not just like they're underpaying. It's actually like the scale is like, okay, we'll pay you from $33 to $150 as a scale, and Netflix is going for the lowest common denominator, lowest value. And it's been blowing up about like underpaid actors and all that, and also about MAPPA sort of being worked. And aside, this is a separate story, but basically MAPPA, a lot of their employees are being worked to death pretty much because they have so many projects at once. But that's sort of a secondary but also connected story. Now, here's where the cynical capitalist, whatever me, sort of is like, I'm sort of mad about the story is nothing about this is new. This has been going on in the anime industry for decades. The only difference is now Western company is the one paying them and not a Japanese Japanese TV network or whatever. That's the only real difference. Animators have been paid very horribly for literally decades. Like that's why I'm just so sure it's like the gas. That's why I'm just sort of like, okay, because there's a big gasp like, oh, Netflix is underpaying. They're paying the lowest they can. It's like, of course they are. Every studio will try to get the lowest amount they can pay. The problem is MAPPA is accepting these rates. And they're accepting them because they're basically trying to get their foot in the door as many places as possible.
Mm-hmm.
At the expense of their animators that work for them. That's why I think it's more of a MAPPA problem than Netflix, because of course Netflix, like, it's their job to get as much as they can for as little as they can when it comes to anime. And it's not just Netflix, like any Japanese studio in Japan who is paying like the production. I mean, when I say studios, I mean like the production companies who are hiring the anime studios to work on a project. They're paying those studios as little as they can in contracts, and that's just sort of how it works. Is it a good system? No, but it's not a new system. They're essentially like, the way the system is set up is the whole summarized anime process is the animators in Japan only really work on keyframe, which is like the very big, like, main frames. All the in-between stuff, like say you're waving a hand, they'll have like the keyframe will just do the waving, the start and then the end, but like all the stuff in between is not keyframing. I'm very much summarizing this poorly, but that's the idea. So most of the animation, which is not keyframing, is basically exported to South Korea or sometimes the Philippines or China, where they basically are paid even less. But a lot of the keyframing, which is like the core art, is done in Japan, and those animators are often paid per cut, which is like per keyframe. And those artists have been sort of underpaid for, like I said, decades. And the whole idea, which is sort of the industry, is like you basically accept or are okay with these rates, which are, to be blunt, you cannot live off these. They're completely unlivable. Like, artists are essentially paid like $500 a week or less, and
that's
live
nothing.
in Japan.
That's
insane. That doesn't sound like it. Like,
yeah, it's quote like you literally would be paid better working fast food in Japan, and actually,
oh my goodness,
working fast food in Japan ain't necessarily a worst thing. It's basically like even better than Chick-fil-A in terms of like how they treat their employees. So it's like they actually do treat their employees well. So it's not as bad. Like, we really could, like, we really wish the U.S. would try to copy a lot of the Japanese fast food, because it is both quality and also the quality for the employee and also the customer is higher. But like to summarize, like they're paid below essentially what would be minimum wage in Japan. And the idea is essentially like they're sort of like out of the U.S., especially the Hollywood uses interns. Hollywood TV is where you're sort of used as underpaid employees who are just like, it's like, oh yeah, employees are interns, and they abuse that system. And that's sort of what Japan does with their animators, where you're checking these lower rates, but the idea is to get your foot in the door to get higher in positions down the road.
Good old internship philosophy.
Yeah, it's basically the internship philosophy, but like without a college being a broker in between.
Maybe you should try and get that.
Now, not every studio does this, but most do. I think the only exception is basically like Kyoto Animation, which actually treats all their employees pretty well, which makes that tragedy that happened several years ago even worse.
Fortunately, we are getting back to track with season 2 of Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Yeah, we didn't bring up in the news, but I've seen some clips and all that for it. It's like, gosh, like I'm waiting for the dub. I'm waiting for a dub. Like, it's painful waiting for the dub, because Funimation has not even confirmed they're doing it. It's like, come on, Funimation, come on. But yeah, like I'm glad they're back, and I actually am also waiting for the anime movie to come out for the it's a. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the auto memory doll. The typewriter. What's it called? My favorite animes all time from Kyoto Animation.
No idea.
Carlos is knows.
Sorry, I'm not good help here.
I'm Googling this because I'm not letting this go on.
Mm-hmm. But, like, I think it's really good that they're focusing on it, even though it had been happening before a lot.
Yeah.
Still think it's good because, like, the more they focus on it, the better it's going to be, I hope.
Yeah, it does get attention, but like that's why I really hate like they're like, oh, how Netflix there's like Netflix is doing exactly what other studios have done in Japan for decades. Like I don't mind you like showing them, but it's like sort of unfair to Netflix. Like that's my issue is like it's sort of I feel unfair to say like Netflix, how dare you when they're just doing exactly what every other studio has been doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's honestly why the Japanese anime industry can sort of, well, why they can essentially put out like 30 new shows a year is like, and have a lot of the key animation done in Japan is like they're not paying their animator, like their animation pay scheme is a lot less than in the U.S., which,
right,
like, that's why, like I said, yeah, is animators in the U.S. do like they're working for like Netflix or even Disney and all that. They are paid more for a lot of their keyframing animation and storyboarding. However, like there are not as many projects available just because they can't afford that money.
I
Like,
their work. You got to understand their work culture. Their work culture is crazy. Their work culture is just is wild. They work so hard. They work so hard in like whatever. They work so hard, and there's like an obsession with precision and perfection there in certain fields. You know, so there's like extra pressure. There's extra. They give it like 110. They don't give it 100%. They give it 110, even 120% over there. So they're working hard over there, and then it's like they're in this culture where they have to, you know. So there's a lot of pressure and everything,
yeah.
and there's a lot of pressure. And not only do you have to work hard, you have to be perfect at it. And there
also,
are
like, there's
programs and such in place to make sure you are perfect.
Now there are good things like what's work in Japan actually not for animators because animators are basically not technically not employees. That's sort of like that. That's why they can sort of get underpaid is they're essentially paid per like cut frame. But like actually when you work for a company and actually are hired full-time employee, it is pretty good. Like the workplace, you're basically drained, like it is draining often.
Yeah.
And also not just the work itself, but also like the very, very implied after work like stuff like your favorite one of your favorite series Agretzko sort of covers is it's sort of work-based culture to also go out and have drinks with everyone in your office after work. And it's not like just like, oh, that's like what you do. Like, no, it's very much like you need to do this.
Right. Right.
That's also part of it. So
yeah. I always think like, you know, if you had the Japanese work ethic in America, like if you had American like try to like adhere themselves to the Japanese work ethic, they'll either fly or they will fall flat on their face.
Which actually I want to bring up though is actually I think sort of overlooked is I forget the metric, but it's like basically basically productivity per hour for like employees. Actually, America it's like the three best countries in the world are like Japan, America, and Germany. America is actually pretty good.
Really?
That's kind of interesting.
Probably have a wide range there, though.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's kind of suspicious, like, the top three, 2/3 of them were former allies.
No, but it's like, but it does sort of make sense if you follow because like everyone knows like how horrible, like I mean, like sort of like it's basically a meme about how like hard the employees are in Japan, but also Germany is known for that too, like German engineering, and then the U.S. is like we sort of make fun of our capitalist system and the tip culture and all that, but that does encourage you to be more productive at work. Also like having like half as many vacation days also helps that too.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
Do you want to go to a country in which, like, you might be more lax around you for your work ethic, but maybe not as beneficial, or do you stay in the slog? That's really
And you have to decide what is important to you.
Mm-hmm.
That is a person's duty in life in all walks of it.
Mm-hmm.
Important value-wise, for the record.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Anyway, summer blockbusters.
Actually, we're still not there. We still have some quick news stories, but more just lighter ones. Let's see. Oh yeah, I think this one is like a subject I just sort of posted in our group. I want to also post to anyone listening. Surprisingly, if there's people listening. That there is going to be a crossover between Courage the Cowardly Dog and Scooby-Doo on DVD.
Oh yes, I think I mentioned that before last week or like the last session. Yeah, but it's literally like the perfect marriage of two cartoon dog icons. And
you wonder why that didn't happen sooner in hindsight. I know Cartoon Network back in the old days when Courage was on the air had they used to do mock commercials all the time, and one of them was Shaggy and Scooby showing up to scare the heck out of Courage and set him straight, like, we'll handle all the creepy villain angles on this network. Well, that was Courage. That was Scooby featured in Courage, which was a show at the time. This is now Courage featured Scooby-Doo. And as someone pointed out when I posted the trailer on Twitter, it does seem like it's a little bit done in the Scooby-Doo style, like brighter animation than Courage might have had, and like the humor and the style of interaction. It's a Scooby-Doo movie featuring Courage, which is the like Scooby-Doo who's making movies about now, so that kind of makes sense. But I guess point being, it might be more like, well, it might be less spooky and more kooky, whatever the Addams Family was.
That's okay.
Like Scooby-Doo style horror is what I'm saying.
They should do it with the Addams Family too.
Yeah, now that you mentioned it. Although, there are worse things though. Like, I mean, you can. The trailer really does sell you on the fact that these two parties have a lot to talk about and time went over.
Yeah. But I do remember, like, Courage actually being, like, having bright colors sometimes. You know, for example, inside their house and stuff like that. But it wasn't a, like, bright cartoon. It was really dark. And, frightening. What?
I think it's colorful, but it's not a very, what's the word? It's not very saturated colorful.
Yeah, that's true.
Rich.
I guess.
Hold up.
Like the saturation has been, like there's color, but the saturation has been turned down.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, this is Courage you're talking about? That.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Well, I mean, like, Courage could, like, it's mixed colors in a way where, like, dark and light, where it's sort of popped, like it was supposed to look a little almost do is more of a zippity-doo-dah bright dark, sure, but I mean it's almost in that like cozy Monster Mash nostalgic glow.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's something to look forward to. And then the other news, which is sort of cartoon related, is like apparently some early trailers and all that have released for the next season of the reboot of the Looney Tunes show. And congratulations, they gave Elmer Fudd his gun back.
Yay!
And they can't bring back, and yet they can't bring back Pepe Le Pew.
No. He's still too stinky.
I can't remember if he was in a new reboot or not.
No, he's not.
They can't get back a rewritten like Pepe Le Pew, and yet they gotta give Elmer Fudd his gun back.
I haven't seen him, sadly.
Yeah, because I don't know if because it's just it was basically they leaked the scene and just had him with his gun, so that's the only thing we can confirm. They might get Pepe Le Pew back because it's also in that atmosphere, but
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
It just seems ridiculous. It's a lot of canceling in Looney Tunes, but
Yeah.
But apparently, we now have generations that can't discern that cartoons are cartoons and then they're not reality. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
But
that's just it. I mean, okay, here's a question: did they try to take? Okay, they took the gun from Elmer Fudd. Did they do that with Yosemite Sam?
No.
yeah.
Oh, what?
Okay,
They did?
I am calling
Yeah,
you so
in the
BS.
first season, yeah, because the first season they basically took away. Because I don't know at the second season, I think we've just seen some trailers for it, unless they've dropped. I'm not sure, but like basically they had him replace guns with other things. Like it's like they can't have Elmer Fudd the hunter hunting Bugs Bunny with a gun, but they gave him a scythe, Reaper scythe, and then for Elmer
from that
that's
gag where they're
better.
chasing each other back and forth with increasingly.
A scythe? Really?
Yeah, and then Yosemite Sam, they basically just had him using a whole bunch of dynamite easily.
That's part of it, but still, Yosemite Sam is not Yosemite Sam without his guns. That's unfortunate. And Elmer Fudd is not hit. Well, okay, Elmer Fudd, you can show Elmer Fudd without a gun in certain cases, but in some cases, they always pull it out. They always pull it out of nowhere. You know, cartoon physics and such. They always have them. They're always packing. You know, they're always packing. That's the character that they built over God knows how many decades. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like trying to have an effect on societal ills. I know that doesn't do anything as like an inadvertent middle finger to the people who say there's no point in trying to do anything about the societal ills. I'm not even very sorry at this point. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sick of waking up to literally every single morning on the local news a new shooting.
I understandable, and it is a hot button. It is a hot button topic, and you know it's crazy where you are, and same with where I am with where I am too. It's like every single day it's the same. It is the same thing. But it's just I don't know. It's like
10 miles from where I live. Like, okay, I probably shouldn't trail off into that, but I mean, I don't know. Symbolic steps are the first ones that people are willing to hate. Like, yeah, sure.
I don't know.
What's the term for when you keep poking that bear until you're ready until somebody says, let's deal with it.
Provocating.
Yeah. Don't poke the bear while it sleeps, though. It's a bad idea.
Provocating, maybe?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, provocations are the first thing until you're actually ready to deal with it, then sure, let's order more of those. Why not?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why it makes me not want to watch the Looney Tunes of now. I mean, the crazy thing is the Looney Tunes I grew up. I mean, we had all the cartoon physics, but yet we had the know-how to know, you know, that's not real, or you should not chase your younger sister around the house with a hammer. And if you put your hand in a waffle iron, it's not funny. So we knew that, but it just seems
I mean, like cartoon, like growing up to be a psychopath. That's one thing. Like kids, it doesn't take much to turn off their do not switch as far as like little kid petty violence.
Right.
Like to roughhouse. But
right, it's this interesting disconnect from it. It's like we got way too many people thinking that it's real, and they should way too many kids thinking like, oh, that's real, we should do that, or too many scared parents are like, oh, wait a minute, I saw this when I was young. I wonder I don't know what my kid's gonna do.
I think more than anything, it's just that like society has taken these like what do you call it? These what once were boundary lines to their zenith. It's like the escalation, pure escalation on impact, and well, you know what? Impact by itself might be enough of an encompasser, but yeah, impact, morality, and ways to hurt people to get your way. It's been taken up to just its zenith, and nobody has any other answer than to not back down on that.
Right.
Nobody's stop resorting to the worst forms of violence, because apparently that's just how you make an impact these days. Which
apparently, I guess it's the new collective consciousness, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Still, I can understand it. I guess I can understand if they're trying to be current with the times, and if I don't. See, that's the thing. It's such a conflict with me about you're changing certain characters, and yet there's the one that you grew up with, and I thought you didn't see anything wrong with it, but now all of a sudden this kind of behavior is wrong, and they're changing it, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, it's I want to understand it, but at the same time, what? It's it's a constant, it's a limbo with me when it comes to the brand new Looney Tunes. I think that's why I remember saying once I refused to watch the new Looney Tunes. I'm like, just something about it just does not seem right to me. I don't know how I feel about modernized Looney Tunes. I just found and also I know I am not watching the new Space Jam. Okay, I'm not. Okay, I just no, and especially not watching it because there's a part where Porky Pig is rapping, and apparently Twitter got into a mess about it. Like, what is wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Twitter? What is wrong with you?
I'm going to say.
I don't even know what that was. That, honestly, more than, no, actually, a crazy enough Looney Tune might break that out. Porky, I almost don't know how to feel, because Porky is their everyman Looney Tune, apart, bumbling, stuttering. I'm trying to think about a context where he would resort to that and it would fit.
I guess it's there's, I don't know, I guess it's the thing is I'm not sure if I want to see the Looney Tunes modernized. I'm not sure how I feel. I'm still I don't know how I feel about seeing them modernized. I think that's why. The thing is, when I read some of the comments about it, about Porky Pig rapping, because they said they thought it was so cringe. They thought it was so cringy. I'm like, oh, okay.
It's equivalent of doing the Noma Noma video.
Is that fair enough? I guess.
I don't know.
It's just in modern situations. I don't know. I can't wrap my brain or my poor little brain around it. So.
Yeah. Honestly, what a good couple steps above, how to incorporate societal ills is just the modern take on Looney Tunes. You feel like every show feels the need to modernize it in some way,
right.
Maybe not to quite the Poochie extent, but every animation, you can't just have the classic styles in a sleeker, more detailed, updated look. They've got to somehow alter the style just a little. No, it has to be more what in the style of what kids today are watching, or it has to be our own stamp. We can't just have it be what we did before. It's why not? People they want to have that reaction to the Looney Tunes, that the look of them, the one they know. I mean, it's okay to make them look nicer, more polished, but I mean, I have when it comes to art style and everything, I completely understand, if you're updating a property, you've got to kind of update it if needs be, you update the style. I completely understand that, and I respect that. It's just when it comes to stories and situations and such, I mean, I still watch cartoons these days it's just when you're incorporating societal ills. But here's the thing: I watch animation and stuff to get away from that. It's still pure escapism for me. It's just when you start inputting the modern society things. Yes, you can educate, but at the same time, it's oh my gosh, I just heard about this on the news. I just want to escape from it for a bit. But I think maybe
I don't know. I guess some cartoons are feeling more these days. They're veering away from the escapism thing, which, you know, I'm 50-50 of. You know, I mean, it's good that they don't want to just be mindless, but at the same time, sometimes you just want to be sometimes you just want to be mindless. Like, I'll watch, like, you know, if I want to watch something and I don't want to think about anything in the world, easy, I'll just watch Footy Cooty, because because there's the thing, that thing absolutely makes no fucking sense, but yet it is 6 episodes of some of the best fun you will have. I
think
I don't want to
somebody decoded that, like, most of it is actually supposed to be a metaphor for sex and all things related.
Oh, absolutely! It is very cerebral. It is very cerebral. There is a lot of symbolism. There's a lot of symbolism on it, but there is a lot of funny comedy. There's a lot of comedy of it, and there are some semi-adult situations in there without it being, you know, going full tilt, you know, adult hentai or anything, thank goodness. But it's very subtle, and it's very subtle in certain ways. It's really subtle in very certain ways, but it's still just fun. It's still just fun to watch, you know, and the action they do, it's just so much fun, and still maintain one of the greatest anime soundtracks of all time.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, Looney Tunes, like, yeah, there's plenty of room to just, like, be fun to, modern, 100,000 modern scenarios and make them slapstick. I mean, heck, old Looney Tunes did that. Daffy Duck, he wound up in a boxing match with Elmer Fudd. He was running a hotel and ripping off Porky Pig 100,000 ways. Like, hey, I'll send in a cat to get rid of that mouse for you. It'll just cost you a little more. I'll send in a dog to get rid of that cat for you. It'll just cost you a little more. I'll send in a lion to get rid of that dog for you.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I mean, yeah, instead, like, the modern shows, like, what's with the one with the Seinfeld humor? Who came to Looney Tunes for that? I mean, like, as an offbeat sort of, like, branch, maybe, like, we've had worse because we've had Baby Looney Tunes, but I mean, as the main Looney Tunes show at the time.
You know what? If there's a Looney Tunes and you incorporate a Seinfeld reference there and you make it work, then you got it. Then it'd be like,
oh, heck yeah, but like Seinfeld style humor, like
maybe making an R-rated one.
Yeah, that would be something.
Okay, now I just got this idea of, like, Daffy Duck looking at the camera, like you know, like it's looking at the camera in a certain way, like, no. If you want R-rated, just look at all the stuff. Just look at what happened after Lola Bunny.
All right. But I think we need to start moving into our main subject of the show. I think it is funny how, like, I always do a little small, like, oh, here's a slight Looney Tunes thing, and then it turns into a major discussion.
There's layered feelings in that property.
That's what we do.
But going on, I guess, to our main subject, which I was pushed back, was originally going to be about Beastars, but I thought I'll wait till next week, and sort of fitting with season 2. I think dropping by the time next recording is done. But this week's subject, since it's in the middle of summer, is it's Summer Blockbuster season.
Oh yeah.
It still is technically a thing, even though COVID. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to sort of get an overall before we move into the subject. What are your connections or history with the Summer Blockbuster season? Like, is it something you always enjoy, or just something that just sort of happens for you?
Which ones are like this year's summer blockbusters? What are they this year?
Let's see, Black Widow, obviously, and let's see, Space Jam. What else do we have?
The Luca, sort of.
F9.
F9, yeah.
Yes.
Luca, F9, the Fast and Furious.
What was it called? The Wish Dragon? Is that one too?
That's a little what's the limited release, I think.
Oh, that's too bad. That was amazing.
That was cute, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying with Luca, sort of a weird thing where it's like technically not in theaters So it's like, is it technically blockbuster season? Not. I wish it was in
Well,
theaters.
Oh, it looks like
None of
Suicide
us-
Squad's gonna be in the summer.
I forgot about that.
yeah.
Well, technically,
Mm.
All right, so you're talking about, like, were you asking, like, what are relationships with these summer blockbusters, or
No,
summer
like, are
blockbusters
in,
past?
In general, I
or in the
think, yeah.
past, like when your childhood or something, like when you hear like summer blockbuster season, was it something you were excited about, or just something that is sort of like, oh, this movie's out now.
Yeah, for me it just happened. Like, if it was playing on the TV, I probably have watched it.
shit.
Yeah.
Well, like, more recently, as I've gotten used to the concept, DB Art and I are like, yeah, heck yeah, time to, have our favorite kind of party together, big movie theater with an armful of snacks, but, yeah, like, I thought this was gonna be, like, obligatory at first, like, okay, slicing out the movies I've seen to include just the summer ones, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that there is kind of, like, significance and, geekdom to summer movies. They are sort of the ones that try to tap into interests and niches and, fan bases and try to, like, give you what you're looking for better or for worse, and probably have been, like, at least for me, and I'm guessing for most people, some of the my biggest sources of both, like, joy and just, what would you like, pure satisfaction and also disappointment. Like, in fact, I think, like, some of early teenage years, like, I think summer blockbusters were pretty crucial in shaping the second opinion, the critic first and fan second, because, like, I remember just a handful where, when I was, growing up, like, into my early teenage years, I had this mindset of movies, heck, I think most people do here too. You have this idea that however you see them, well, that's, like, how they're supposed to be, like, wishing that they had somehow been different. It's like, well, the movie clearly knows what happens in this world. It must just be you. You must have to retcon that in your head to fit, like, I think it was Pirates of the Caribbean 3. I could not have been any more bummed out by, Pirates of the Caribbean 3 in general, first of all. Like, everything that happened, every other moment in that movie was like a hope dream killer, like what the Kraken, after how much they built it up in the last movie, just, like, eyes off screen. But then, like, especially how it ended, it's just such a bummer that sucks in every way, and I'm, like, trying to make it more satisfying in my head, like, okay, well, Jack loses the pearl and everything that happened in the first movie was for nothing, but he's come a long way. He takes out the compass at the end and it doesn't point to the pearl, so I guess he's actually, and then, okay, like, those sticking in my head, I think I started to develop the concept. Okay, no, you don't have to. It's okay to not be happy with that. These are just writers trying to come up with ideas that they think will sell and they think will happen. It's actually like there's actually value in kind of analyzing it and why it does or doesn't work, why it did or didn't make you happy. And I think what were the big ones that had that sort of effect on me? Besides Pirates, it was Harry Potter 3, just because, like, the Harry Potter series, I was real book, like, anal retentive at the time, and I didn't, like, love the first two, but the third one I was like, where the heck is all this coming from? This is so hokey and melodramatic, and in hindsight, people say it's one of the best ones, and I'm really not sure if I think that now, because I still think I'm, like, not so inclined to change Harry finding out about Sirius Black to being, like, changing it from he finds out the truth and is, like, personally offended by it, and, like, and everybody's like, but Harry, you said you'd keep it protected from Sirius Black. He's like, well, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow through on that. I'm freaking pissed here that he betrayed my family. I'm not sure how I feel about changing that to the sobbing under the cloak, the Harry, what happened? He was their friend. He was their friend! Yeah, stuff like that I think might always be a little bit hokey to me, but yeah, that, X-Men 3, I'm not sure if that was a summer blockbuster or not. That was a pretty big dream killer. And also Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, because, I mean, like a lot of people, I came out looking for something that was more loyal to the book, and just, I mean, I like the old one a lot, but I mean, I think everybody wanted to see that, and you can tell who was actually looking for that, I think, these days, versus who is just a Tim Burton fan by, who tries to say, no, this movie does understand the book. I'm like, what's that? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is a bigger middle finger to the tone of the book than the old one. So yeah, lots of huge disappointments, and also lots of beautiful joys too. Like summer 2008 will always be like probably my favorite season ever in movies, because I got WALL-E and The Dark Knight the same summer. WALL-E's irreversibly my favorite movie, because like no experience period in a movie theater ever measured up to that one. The Dark Knight, right up there with it, honestly, although like there's admittedly a bigger chance that that's in the mind of edgy teenage me, but I mean, it was also a pretty flippin' big impact to the point where I'm not so inclined to disown that. So like, those were magical. Avenger, heck, all the big superhero movies that you never knew they could be this good. Spider-Man 2, The Avengers, even Iron Man, the latest two Avengers movies, and or what are some Pixar and those being a tradition every year, like some of the more offbeat ones that still fit the season really well, like Juno. I think, like, I mean, there's always good controversy around Juno, but I don't remember. I remember very few movies just capturing how I felt like, we spoke at the time, like the teenage language at that point in time, like how we tried to be like cult of irony and ahead of the curve. Like for 2007, I feel like Juno got it. And what else comes of age movies, like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and heck, realizing how much fun the Fast and Furious movies could be once they were about just pure escapism. Just, I love summer. So that's what it means to me, at least.
Lovely.
Is Moana a summer blockbuster?
I don't remember, honestly.
I think that came out. Didn't it come out Thanksgiving weekend?
Don't know.
Yeah, it might have been Zootopia that was the summer blockbuster.
Okay, well, Zootopia is nice too.
I thought Zootopia was May or something. Not even May, I think it was like February.
February, maybe not then. Yeah, Moana was
thinking March, not.
Moana is one of my favorite movies, yeah.
Oh, ditto. Love Moana. I've watched Moana like about 7 or 8 times, and I watched the first Frozen once. That shows how much I love. Moana.
Yeah, I'm right up there. Moana is at least one of my favorite animated movies. Like
Moana's love it.
Yeah, the way it flips around the chosen one destiny, like Moana's reprise of the what It Calls Me songs. What was that song? I don't know what the official title is, but yeah, Song of the Sea. Her, like, when she reprises that song, like, that is one of my favorite moments in animation.
Song of the Ancestors. I Am Moana, I guess.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
I like the old one better, I must admit.
I like both.
Yeah. The Wind Calls Me, or the first one. First time.
First time. Well, I mean, yeah, that's really good setup. Like, I'm not even just musically, although maybe that too, but yeah, I think it's just like such powerful catharsis in that moment, like how it just like nails the twist it puts on the chosen one story or whatnot. Yeah.
It's called How Far I Will Go.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, love that. Oh, love that song. I love the whole soundtrack of Moana. I love everything about everything about that soundtrack. I love the story. I love the characters. I love the setting. Just everything, and just everything about it. Really, I feel like Moana. This was, if they wanted to tell something about a culture, I think I always compare like Moana to Pocahontas. I feel like Moana is what you kind of should have done with Pocahontas, but at the same time, I'm of the thought Disney should not have been telling the story of Pocahontas at all.
No, not the real one. No, that's too sad.
Well, I mean, they didn't tell the real one. They told the Romeo and Juliet fantasy, which was almost worse.
Which is all wrong. Which is actually all wrong. I mean, Pocahontas in real life, she saved John Smith, but she didn't marry him.
No.
But she didn't marry him, and her life ended up really tragic too.
Well, she was 12. John Smith was much older, and I don't think they were a romantic thing at all. No. In fact, John Smith, I think it was actually later reported that he told that exact same, she threw herself in front of me to save me. He told that exact same story about a different scenario, and somebody, like, he might have been just a little bit of a hopeless romantic and also a BSer.
Right. But the thing is, they actually remedied that in the sequel, which...
Yeah, and they almost, they gave us the worst of both worlds almost with that.
They did. I'm like, why?
But at least in that, they're showing how it is in the real world somewhere.
Well, I mean, other than the fact that she ends up with John Rolfe, like, that movie has even less to do with history almost.
The only thing they got right about Pocahontas is that apparently she did get with Rolfe. That's the only thing they got right. The rest of it is all just, well, it's Disney, because they are like, oh, we got to Disneyfy this because Pocahontas had a very tragic story. So, like, we got to make it happy. Like, really, Disney? Ugh. They really, I hope they never do another, like, historical figure. I really hope they don't do as historical figures.
There's just so many that could be good.
When it came to Moana,
live action, they've done that pretty well a few times.
What about Mulan?
When it comes to, like, their like depicting a culture and such, I'm not a part of that culture, but I'm thinking, like, but I've heard some people say, like, we can tell they put some, consideration and put some thought into this, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but what is, but I don't know, it just feels like there's a lot more effort. There was a lot more effort and care with Moana than with Pocahontas.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
And everyone thinks 12-year-old girls don't look like Pocahontas did.
No, that's true. But sadly, you guys have got to go. So you have a nice time.
Clearly you're watching the wrong kind. Clearly you're watching a terrible kind of
anime.
Yeah. See you.
Okay, bye.
But as far as animated movies that did come out in summer, though, like so many Pixar have done that, like Finding Nemo. That was, I think it was my first drive-in movie, seeing Finding Nemo at a drive-in theater for my birthday, because I got a summer birthday. And one of the last things I remember doing with my childhood BFF, not DB Art, because take out that last F. That guy and I, like, he moved away and we kind of drifted apart. But like, one of the last things I remember doing with him, and then childhood BF. So DB Art ended up coming in right at that point and becoming the BFF. So transitional marking points. That's another thing they're good for. But Finding Nemo as my first blockbuster was just absolutely a really good memory there. Big memory.
Nice. I don't have a relationship with, like, summer blockbusters. I mean, I'm just like, if there's a movie I want to see, no matter what season it is, I'll go see it. Or if there's something like, I mean, there isn't something that I've been just, like, chomping at the bit to see. Not really for a lot of movies. Okay, the only movie that I really was, like, excited for was the first and second was the Deadpool series. That's the only that's the only movie that I can remember being really, really crazy excited for. And if I remember, the first Deadpool came out around Valentine's Day, around when the 50 Shades movie came out.
And second Deadpool was the summer.
What?
The second Deadpool was the summer.
Now now I agree. That's the only indication I had with a summer blockbuster. I remember when I watched the first Deadpool, I was like, sequel. I couldn't wait when the credits were rolling. I was like, I want a sequel now. And that never happens. But that never happens with me. But that was the first time I was like wanting a sequel like now. And then we got one. I was like, oh yeah. So that's pretty much it. But when it comes to, well, when it comes to like, summer blockbusters and everything, it really just depends on, what it is and if it's enough interest with me to see it. I mean, I do have an interest to see like certain things like F9 and such, because it could be fun. It could be some fun action there where you don't have to think. And like Over the Moon, I wanted to see Over the Moon when it came out, but really I don't. But as it comes to summer blockbusters, I'm like, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be a season for me to really want to see a movie,
Yeah, well, I mean, are there movies at all that you really like get geared up to see, or like really speak to your inner geek at all, or in general just not your thing that way?
Other than Deadpool, Moana, see F9's good. Let me see. Not really. Not really. No.
Huh.
Not
really.
like
Pixar or other Disney movies or anything like that?
Not a lot of it, not a lot of it. I'm in the stage of life where I'm a little picky about certain things, where I'm just not going to consume every single thing that comes my way. I'm a little discerning, about like, am I interested in this? Maybe. Am I interested in this? No. It's interesting. I'm a little picky about it.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I mean, I am kind of as well, but I mean, it's like, yeah, if it gets enough hype, it's supposed to be good, yeah, I'll see it. I won't always like it, but I mean, I'm, excited by the news that somebody has come along and brought something interesting to the table.
Oh, I forgot. What? Wait, it's not a summer blockbuster, but you were talking about things that speak to me. Invincible.
Yeah.
I am chomping at the bit for the next seasons of Invincible. I am, definitely. But I know I'm sorry, it's not a summer blockbuster. I'm missing the point.
It might have been coming out during the summer. I mean, TV shows are becoming like, rock star announcements again as well.
Right. I guess, like I said, it doesn't have to be like an actual season. I guess I don't know, it's something certain that it has to speak to me in a certain way. They'll be like, ooh, I want to see this, or like, I think I want to see this. So yeah, it just has to speak to me in a certain way. It doesn't matter like what season it is, really. And if it happens to, I'm waiting for this, if all of a sudden, if there's a summer where there are all sorts of movies that I want to see and I see them all, then that'll be like, oh man, then I will be like, oh man, this was a good movie summer. But that has yet to happen.
So, I gotta mark that down. One of the dates we're waiting for, Jenn's Golden Movie Summer. Mine was 2008.
I'm still waiting for my Golden Movie Summer. Well, we'll see what happens.
Does anybody else have a Golden Movie Summer?
No. I was just going to say, but for me, like, it's not really something for me currently, but yeah, like back in my childhood in grade school, middle school, and all that, like, it was just sort of part of the summer break experience was seeing a whole bunch of like movies during the summer. Like both action movies and also a lot of animated movies too, before those started to get more unsteadily pushed to November as family Christmas season movies. But yeah, that sort of was this. Again, I just so associate the blockbuster season with part of my childhood sort of thing. Not very much of my currently, besides trying to get occasionally out to the drive-in, but mostly this sort of part of it is, which sort of I want to transition to the subject is like, where do you feel the future of the blockbuster season is with, well, there really wasn't one last year because of COVID lockdowns, and this year it's sort of still ongoing with a lot of films being co-released in, well, home streaming and also in theaters. So is there a strong future for the blockbuster season, or is it just sort of becoming normal, like a normal season?
Hey guys.
Yeah.
Like, I realized what was my golden summer blockbuster season, and it was all the way back to the era of season 4 of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. The year was 2014. Remember what we got in that year?
Oh, how can I forget? How can I forget? One of the greatest season finales.
Yeah, but not
referring
just
to blockbusters, though, and yeah, that is one of the greatest season finales.
But we also had stuff like the Lego Movie first coming out in this span of time. Follow that up with How to Train Your Dragon Part 2. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the movie that was just like, oh, my respect for Captain America rose 3 sizes that day, and how phenomenal that game changer was for the entire Marvel landscape. Still considered it to be
still my favorite Captain America movie.
And even better yet, Guardians of the Galaxy also came out that year. I even have the movie ticket.
That is a pretty big year.
Oh yeah, Guardians.
Who cares about that though? Adam Sandler's Blended movie. Hello.
And lastly but not least, Kingsman: The Secret Service was still out, even though it came out in Valentine's Day. So, if you wanted to watch a different spy thriller, you had the Kingsman for that. Even though we had stuff like Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rio 2, or even Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Disaster movie. That's not what I'm going by.
Or even The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which came out during the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we still had, like, Days of Future Past, weirdly enough, Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, and the Godzilla movie that came out in 2014.
I got you remember seeing that in a study abroad thing.
Yeah. Oh, and last but not least, Hobbit, Battle of the Five Armies, and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Oh, the Hobbit. Oh, the Hobbit.
Planet of the Apes movies. Only saw the first one.
Yeah, so I hope that was a nice refresher for you all. 2014. Even if it didn't have all big-time hitters, it still had memorable movies that we still remember to this day for very obvious reasons.
Yeah. But, although to answer DC's question, though, yeah, I think that it's, well, like what IMAX technology being pushed forward and stuff, and just people with the summer movie used to being a big event. I mean, like arcade games, I don't know how much people, I mean, heck, even those still have a niche, but yeah, video games at home, you can still, get together with your friends and do those on pretty much the same level like arcades. I don't think they ever offered enough to stay in business. Going to a theater with the giant screen and the, all in the dark, the pile of snacks, it feels like a party. I think that, just like having the option to also pay even more money to get it at home, I mean, I think that's going to be a nice feature for people. I think that so far, during the pandemic when, like, seeing movies offered in theaters, it seems like the those have continued on at least strong enough so that like the dividends, the patterns of how students do it, like it might change. I don't think it's prone to die anytime soon. I think movie theaters are still kind of that thing that these companies have latched on to, like, okay, how to get us to go somewhere for something that feels like a big event. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm right, but that's kind of the sense I get. At very least, kind of like we can still watch sports, like we can still watch the big game at home. You can still fill a stadium up with people to see the big game. So I hope you all found that very insightful.
Yep.
So I got there.
Yep. Well, where you were talking about where do you think the Summer Blockbuster is going?
Yeah, well, that was DC's question. What he thinks is going to happen with it.
Oh, my little opinion of what's going to happen with it. Nothing. I don't think anything's going to change. I don't think anything different. I don't think anything different is going to happen. I mean, judging by the way, there were some movies that came out. I think some action movies that came out and such. Now and such, I'm thinking that Hollywood is going to find a way to keep on building the summer blockbusters things. Hollywood and its creators are they're gonna find ways to contribute to it. It'll still keep. I don't think the summer blockbuster is in danger of going anywhere. There are creators out there, whether they're Hollywood or elsewhere, they're gonna find ways to create what their things and whatever. Hollywood's gonna find a way to keep on going with this because it's such a cash cow. They'll find a way to keep going. I mean, whether they the only thing that's really concerning is now that we passed phase 1 of the COVID pandemic, and now here comes the Delta phase. How do those things? There's Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta. No,
I'd have to look it up. Yeah,
I don't
Delta
remember.
is like the big. Yeah, the Delta is like the big who did their homework, except it's who got the vaccine instead of homework.
Exactly. Now I'm just wondering with the Delta variant, without the Delta phase of it, if that's going to impact it again. If that's going to impact it, that's the only quote concern. I say that loosely that I have of summer blockbusters. The only thing that could happen is the thing is if we go back to if things get so bad in this phase that we go back to where we were in the pandemic, okay, Hollywood's in trouble. So, but at the same time, I'm thinking if that does happen, at the same time, I think there'll be more people that'll be like, screw it, we're not doing this again. We're not doing this again. We're gonna do it. Who cares of the odds? Damn the torpedoes!
Yeah, just to sort of give a heads up, I don't think we're ever even with Delta and all that, we're not going back to lockdowns. Even if we got something like even if we got the Gamma, where it's all the vaccines they don't work anymore, we're not going back to lockdown.
Nobody's gonna want to.
No, people would not do
It would take something pretty darn significant, yeah.
Pretty much.
At this point,
much. No one. I think.
I don't even think a zombie apocalypse would even deter people from doing this now.
There's a zombie apocalypse going on. We're not shutting this movie down.
Yeah, you're gonna see the DC group, trucking around, and whoever has the big truck sporting all the zombie apocalypse weapons. And even though, guns are probably the most efficient one, zombie apocalypse rules, we all have to have a different one. Only one person can be the gunner. Somebody else has to be the baseball bat swinger. Yeah, someone else has to be like the, metal lord, spikes, brass knuckles, and tiny knives and all that.
Someone's got to drive the tank.
Yeah, somebody's got to be
and also somebody has to be bait.
But
I call for
so we
tiny
go.
knives. I call the tiny knives.
You want the tiny knives?
I mean,
Can I
seriously, I'm a
drive?
rogue.
Can I drive, please? Can I be the driver, please? I'm a pretty good driver.
Let's see. Can you
Who's the gunner?
like how tough is where you at? Cincinnati traffic?
Yeah.
How tough is that to navigate? Because Pittsburgh drivers are pretty infamous for driving around.
Ohio drivers are a meme.
Ohio and Indiana drivers, they're famous for their own things. And also it depends on whether the Brent Spence Bridge is it depends on whether the Brent Spence Bridge does not have construction on it, or if it finally falls down into the Ohio River.
That's.
And if it does, we're all screwed.
Yeah, but I am a total lane surfer. I've had to totally tame myself on that one because Day is very cautious and diligent and correct. That's what should be done. But I totally had to rein in. I'm all about lane surfing and just getting where I need to go on time. So I don't know. We could trade off, see who suits it while trading steering wheel and baseball bat as we go along.
Pretty much. Pretty much. And it depends on actually where we're going. If we're going south and the Brent Spence Bridge is out, well, that's just going to cause a whole lot of trouble. And also depends on how the zombies work, what kind of zombie logic they follow, whether it's Walking Dead and they follow movement and sound, then guns, no bueno. Only if you're sniping from a higher point, I think you may have a chance. But if they follow World War Z logic, good luck.
Shit. Speaking of zombie
World
movies,
War Z, I mean the novel, the World War Z novel, not the
where
movie,
it's
the World
slow
War Z
zombies.
novel.
Yeah, I had a friend. I haven't seen or read the novel, but I had a friend who beat my ear for hours on that. His name was also Dave, but it's a different Dave. Yeah, for hours on how the movie messed everything up by making it fast zombies. That messes up all the satire. It's supposed to be how slow zombies took advantage of every country's fault and
Well, I don't know. There's a little bit of a logic for that, because I guess it depends on what kind of state of decay their body is in. Like if they were just freshly bitten and they still have all their limbs and everything, and they're able to move, then they're able to move and run. Okay, then I can get the thing about fast. Okay, I can get the thing about fast zombies. But if they're in an advanced state of decay or whatever, then they can get slow. The one thing that blows my mind, that World War Z, that the novel blew my mind, was underwater zombies. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
By the way, this is late in the game to ask, but how is my microphone?
It's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But speaking of zombie movies, though, that's another one for summer blockbusters. I think Zack Snyder just followed up the biggest success of his career, I'm going to go ahead and say, with another zombie movie that's getting okay reviews and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what else? I don't know. Does anybody here have a tradition of the zombie movie in the summers? Or not a tradition,
no.
but a history, I guess, is more what I should say.
Nope, I have no tradition with zombie with that. I don't have a tradition with that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to look up the list, but it's making it hard. But I mean, Pittsburgh is, this is where George Romero centered pretty much all of his zombie movies. So if that's one niche you want, we got that. We got, the original Dawn of the Dead. That's at a mall you can go to around here is where he filmed that.
Ah.
I don't know if he released that during the summer. Let me check that out. But, okay, what else are zombie movies? There's Zombie Land. There's,
Zombie Land, surprisingly good.
Warm Bodies, which I actually really liked. Like, that's a low-key favorite of mine. Yeah, no, Dawn of the Dead was in January. But, I don't know why my mind keeps going back to Attack the Block. That's not a zombie movie, although it is a group of people get a bunch of weapons and take on a hulking menace sort of a movie. I love that movie so much, Attack the Block. It's a little niche, but if you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out. Like, everyone and their mother who's seen that loves it. Oh, and it has Finn from Star Wars in his early starring role as a 15-year-old kid. And he does not play Noble, Diligent Finn. Okay, Attack the Block is a summer movie, and I saw it at Obscure Movie Group. That was a great memory. But yeah, he does not play Noble Finn. He plays a leader of a teenage gang who goes around, who's decided they've gained a little bit of confidence. They start going around, like, mugging people who are terrified of them, but then when a bunch of, like, hulking gorilla wolf aliens land and they all have to, like, bunker down in the block they live on, they realize that they live in the same, they're neighbors with a lot of the people they robbed and have to form a survival party together, and it's like, character development and relationship development and bashing gorilla wolf's brains in with swords and bats that they keep around their house and hiding in Ron's weed room, and just, you are missing out if you haven't seen this. And you can take that to the bank.
But going back, going back to what I was saying is, like, the answers to my own questions, like, I feel the summer blockbuster movie season is changing. I don't think it's going away. I mean, people predict that theaters are going to die. Even COVID, I don't feel will kill theaters.
No.
But I feel it is changing. And I feel like the summer blockbuster movie season is going to lose some of its steam because it's not going to be as. I feel it's basically what's going to happen to the summer movie season is basically what's happening to, like, the Christmas shopping season for video games, as in it's becoming less centralized around it. In terms of, like, games can be released all year, not just in, like, November or October.
Mm-hmm.
And they're spreading more and more out, and I feel like the summer season is getting less and less concentrated of the action movies and all that. And I also feel it's going to change in some way because, like, in relation with the directive streaming services, because we still don't really know how that's going to play out. A lot of the streaming services are moving away from, like, day and dates. I mean, they are doing it now. It's a lot of them basically said, oh yeah, we're just doing that for, like, this year. But some aren't not going back to normal. So it's like the main thing I feel is, like, we will get basically theaters first. We're going to get back to that, but there time between, like, the movie was released in the summer, will be released at Christmas, and home video, that's going to be reduced down to, like, a month or two or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel it is changing, and I feel it is losing a lot of its, like, stranglehold, but I don't think it's going away. I think it's just going to evolve in a way that we really can't really comprehend yet, because we're moving into uncharted territory with the arrival of the streaming war.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I think that could possibly change now that they're gonna fight for that streaming revenue.
Yeah, I think that was, like, along the lines of what I was saying before, that, the point I was basically trying to make, it's going to change, the studios are going to change their approach to it, it's maybe going to, like, not become quite the bulky behemoth it was before, but it's not going away.
Yep, agreed.
I also just realized that, my first date movie ever was a summer blockbuster. But Daylover has nothing to be jealous of there, because the movie was terrible. And it was the breakup.
Okay.
Yeah. Probably should have worked on that one.
Well,
Like, should have rethought that one. That terrible Vince Vaughn, Jennifer Aniston movie, The Breakup, was
Jeez, that was awful.
my first summer date movie.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And now look where you are now. You defied the odds.
So that relationship ended, amicably enough, but that's ancient history.
But look where you are now. You defied the odds.
Yeah. Now, summer movies I'm seeing with Daylover are more like Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War. Yeah.
Lovely.
We're sitting in theaters, talking and laughing and having a great time there. So, hey, maybe the Summer Blockbuster does have some deeper significance still for me.
There you go.
And actually, I'm seeing Thor Ragnarok with someone who has Viking heritage as my then girlfriend, now fiance, and is telling me about all of the things in the actual Ragnarok legend that ties to, so.
Right.
And to be. Hashtag.
That's all I got there. Oh, guys, I actually gotta run. I just realized what time it is. I need to get started. Right. I need to.
Well, we're going to be wrapping up anyway.
I need to get started on something, so I've actually got to run.
Take care. Yeah, I think that's where it was headed.
See ya. Okay. See ya, guys.
See you later.
Oh, we're not. All right, see ya.
And me too. I mean, gotta head out soon,
Okay, bye, guys.
All right.
Okay, what was DC's ending note? How about that? Is what I think he's trying to circle here.
Yeah, I think I sort of got Rowan. He's like, I feel the blockbuster movie season is changing. We don't know how. I feel it is losing, like I said, a lot of its strength. I feel it's very comparable to like what the Christmas shopping season was for video games, as in, you're not into games, so you don't really get the context. But
never like shopping games except Pokemon. But
yeah, but for like a good decades or so, like so much, like half all games would be released basically within 3 months of Christmas. It was like, so like, at least the big AAA games, like it's becoming more and more spread out, which I feel is better for the industry, especially for video games, because you don't really want to have like 5 different shooters coming out at the same time as Call of Duty. But also I feel it's better for the consumer just because it's sort of like, hey, you get this in May, you get this in June and all that. So I feel the same thing is probably going to happen to like movies where it's just like I said, it just spreads out more. Summer, I feel it is moving a lot of its luster, like the blockbuster season that was basically established in Spielberg. But I don't think it's going away. I feel like overall, I feel it's becoming more compartmentalized, but like basically less restricted. Like as in you can have bigger action movies at least outside of summer, but it's like still sort of the target time. And it seems like it's just like basically Christmas is becoming more of the family movie season. Summer is more of the action season, but there's more stuff in between, as in like they're realizing, hey, maybe we could release when there's less competition. But yeah, that's actually, I don't think it's dead. I don't think theaters are dead, but I feel they are changing in ways we really can't comprehend just because we've got to figure out how they're going to relate to streaming services, which is still brand new. So. But I guess see y'all next time and enjoy what's left of the summer.
Bye.
Take care. Buy lots of Pokemon games for your family for Christmas. That was actually always made easy by that. Take care.